Okay, so ships are underway. That took a while because it was kind of difficult to find challengers, but congratulations, Tronic and Vitoria Gasteiz. You have been selected as Rezac's and Raku's challengers. Good luck to you guys. They're going to play Sicilian, and Rezax is going to play the standard Sicilian. Vitoria is going to play the Scandinavian counterpart to the Sicilian. Wraku is going to Fianchetto. So there was a lot of delays and mishaps before this began, but the championship is now underway. So thank you to Rezax and Wraku89, two title players, by the way. Rezax is FIDE Master, and Wraku89 is a Grandmaster. 7 Ronic is a really strong free-for-all player. He was also in the top 5 in the teams in the month of January at one point. Shouts out to him. Vitoria Gasteiz has been one of the top players in teams. This is a good challenge, yes. So Vitoria Gasteiz will be considered the number 14 seed. So now what is going on here? We have blue developing all of his knights and pushing the rook pawn forward. All of that is standard, except that his queen is not out. But in some cases, if the queen is out early, then it could be attacked. Now, 4 knight to m8. Oh, that's Vitoria. Interesting. Okay, well, he could just probably take that pawn, but... Oh yeah, double exclamation mark. If Wraku goes to j3, it looks like it's eyeing the m6 pawn, but it's not really. A more effective square would certainly be g4, but he's playing queen to j3. I guess holding the defense of the pawn on j2. Delayed queen out, yes. As a matter of fact, Icy Stun does play delayed queen out sometimes. Alright, so we got, yeah, if the blue pawn takes on c10, then we have queen takes knight. Yeah, so if the pawn takes, the queen takes the pawn, and the yellow queen will also take the knight, in which case that is just mating. So yeah, it's not really looking too easy, too simple for blue and green. and they could be in a little bit of trouble. So once again, I would like to give a shout out to 7 Ronick and Victoria Gastides for, I keep butchering that name, for taking on Rezacz and Wraku. Those are both titled players, by the way. Though Victoria was not selected as a candidate, as an elite. Sorry, he's very good, and I think makes a great match for Wraku89 and Rezacz. And we haven't seen him play a lot of games, so he might be a lot better than what his rating says. So what should red do? Probably capture the pawn, yes. And once the rook captures the knight, which I think is going to happen, then yellow has several options. He can push the e13 pawn, as they have green just showed. And 7 Ronick will probably take the knight. I don't see why not. I think he should. Yeah, he should definitely take the knight. Don't see why not. Rezacz will probably push the pawn forward to e12 and try to open his rook. So, yeah, green is finally figuring out how to develop his queen. Hopefully it's not too late, because blue's under a lot of pressure here. Bishop to g13, bye-bye, says Icy Stun. Probably bishop to g13 is just too much pressure on that knight. Yeah, a pretty mate is coming. In other words, maybe some sort of sacrifice is coming. Yeah. So, I do want to apologize in advance if this doesn't, if not all games are covered here. It's because I have to leave in about 20 minutes. So there's a short possibility, should this match last longer than three games, that I may have to leave the camera, and then I can come back later and analyze the rest. Zero to zero, and we got 17 spectators. And did Zarisol win yesterday? Yes. But that third game wasn't easy. Alright, so queen b6, knight defends. This is. Yeah, it may not be clear actually. So yeah, this game could be quite a bit of a game, huh? 22 spectators. Yeah, I made that joke last time that, the more spectators we get, the more likely this is to become radio. There's at one point I think this just all the usernames kind of compress to the point where you just cannot see anything, at least in that window. But the game will still be played, and it won't take up the game screen. So I am incorrect about the fact that would be radio. So they're still alive. What is the score, though? It is, in terms of the pieces, what we have is basically, they kept all their rooks. Blue and green both have knights. However, red and yellow both have bishops, so it's basically two exchanges, even though an exchange sacrifice is also in 4-player chess considered a bishop for a knight. And a bishop for a knight is pretty big, actually, pretty big difference in 4-player chess. So, is it possible that Vittoria Gas dies and Tronic could play well against rezacz? So, yeah, typically they're going to click rematch within 1 minute. I will have to leave in about 15 minutes, so that unfortunately means game 3 probably, if I had to guess, maybe even part of game 2, could be left out of the broadcast. Although I do look forward to the results, should it be played to 5 games. And so far, I think this is reasonably close. Tronic does need to move, however, and that will be it for the first game. All right. Okay, so there we go. Finally, we got it. This may not be the smoothest match, but I do appreciate them for taking their time. I think he's going to go my opening. Yes, he will. And Tronic knows my opening. However, it must be said that rezacz did as a novelty move to L10. This is a novelty, I believe, shared by rezacz and Icy Stun, so I call it the Icy Stun rezacz defense. And I think bishop takes bishop will be played. Knight K12 is definitely the move that I played this morning against Wraku89 and rezacz. And Tronic notices that. And now, if he plays there, he's mated. And Victoria notices that. You have to take the queen. You have to. You gotta. This is the Icy Stun rezacz counterattack. Now queen takes bishop. And now knight over to K12 is possible. And so is queen to H13. And I think you go knight to K12 first because you can threaten queen or knight takes L10. So that was our first flag. That first game, that was our first flag. Now, the queen will go out to stop that. And I think knight takes pawn is decent here, but I would also like to say that now, yeah, queen d9 is a good move. And 7 Ronic notices. And I don't know if he's been keeping up with Victoriano Ochoa's videos, but shout out to Victor. He has been doing studies on this opening. And after the pawn pushes here as red, the green light square bishop will go ahead and move there to M10 and hit D1. And now that hits the yellow queen. And so now blue's knight is developing. That looks like mate. Knight over, and he found it. That is checkmate. That is good game. And Tronic knows it. 7Ronic knows it. This will be 2-0 Wraku89 or rezacz. If this discontinues. If blue doesn't mouse slip or anything, this will be game over. We may get to video the third match, the third game between them. So, not much to do. Hope that he mouse slips, right? Good game. Well played. 2-0. rezacz and Wraku. First 2-3 wins. Best of 5. Now, if you will, select rematch. Wraku with the red pieces. Is Tronic going to go for that opening? Is 7Ronic going to go for the opening? I bet they go classical. Is rezacz going to go for the Skywalker attack? No, he is going classical. See, I knew he's on to something here. Classical, you know. I'll probably fall asleep during this opening. Even though I actually have to be somewhere in 10 and 15 minutes. But anyways, back to the game. I think Wraku is probably going to take his pawn and push it forward, because if he gets his queen out and his queen gets attacked, then the knight could potentially go over to k4. But I think he could still bring his queen out because it defends these two squares. So let's see where they're on to. Now, will we see a pawn promotion? Probably on Thursday. I'm winking at you, GDI, because I know you and Superatos will likely be selected for Thursday's game. I'm spoiling it to all who see my, yeah, this looks like GG to me, but I mean this should be good for red and yellow. I do not think, however, red will even be considering taking on m6. The rook will move. Red queen will need to move back, otherwise the bishop will block on L7. I think, yeah, rezacz is telling Wraku, just back up a little bit, okay? We'll come back and we'll mate him. That's what he's saying. Any of those squares. This opening, yes, indeed. Babia Gun does remind us of some of the 2017 games. Now, if Vitoria were, okay, the bishop will probably go there. And it's actually quite possible rezacz opens his queen pawn up too to shield the diagonal. If green finds a way, however, he's got all of his pieces still in the back rank. Ooh. It spells trouble for yellow. Not sure what's going to happen here. This could be a turnaround. But you don't want to give up your... No, you don't want to give up anything here. 2 bishops for a queen is probably okay, though. Is it not? We do have a game. Queen takes, and now it's 2 bishops for a queen. Honestly, it's not the end of the world. H11, queen takes, I14. So this will be the last game I record, as I will need to be somewhere soon. So I do apologize if this goes to game 3 and I don't get any footage of it. "22 spectators. Now that the queen has left camp, however, oh yeah, the pawn push will hit the queen, and I think the queen will go to d7. The queen could go to d7. Who's lacking time issues? Who's got time issues? That would be Team Blue Green. If 7 Ronick decides to just push his pawn, then queen takes f2, bishop takes h3. That would be interesting. What if we have a discovered king capture? Bishop takes h3 is a good move, yes. Don't underestimate them. If bishop does not take if bishop does not do that on h3, then there's just a king capture. And this series, this round would end in a king capture. And there we go. No king capture. After queen takes, there is no mate, no king capture at all. It loses a queen, yes. Instead, you want to take the red queen, and now the yellow bishop could come out, or the yellow rook. Right, bishop takes I2, probably played next. Right, queen takes on I2, or knight takes on I2. Knight takes looks better, I think. And now the blue queen will be moving. If the blue queen gets in the path of the rook, however, this would be dangerous. Now the yellow rook is going to move. Oh, and that is check. And green is saying, Cyberonic, should I move the queen here to stop the knight from moving there? Queen here, knight check. And takes queen. And now the queen is active. Or the rook is active. Green's not mated. Green is still alive. I think red is just going to defend himself. This is a nice game here. Bishop over. Victoria can castle, I think. Wraku, will he make the decision? Bishop takes b5, then rook to g4, and queen takes g2. Rook f4. Yeah. Now red has to move. Yeah, that's one option. You could just take the rook and then the rook blocks. I think we like. I would be interested. Rook to k6. And now we're in an endgame officially, I think, because I don't think Victoria is going to trade queens. I don't think he really wants to trade queens. What if he does? He doesn't. See? And now I'm going to leave everybody on a cliffhanger. And I will get back to the match later. This will be an endgame, ladies and gentlemen. To be continued. Thanks for watching.